I've been here ever since until 1969 to 1975.
Yes.
I was other places.
Other places, whoa.
Undisclosed,
Maybe we'll,
undisclosed locations.
yeah, maybe we'll get to that, maybe we won't, I don't know, sounds like it's something you want to just glide right past.
And then I found myself landing in an aeroplane
Yes.
at
New
Kennedy Airport and
York.
getting on a bus
Uh-huh.
to come back to Scranton. Now, when I left on a train. When I came back, found that the trains didn't come up here anymore, unless it was a freight train.
Sure, yeah.
So I came back.
And I'm afraid you're not.
I was not.
Yeah.
I was afraid to come back.
Yeah.
But I returned to Scranton and then I got a job on the railroad again. Another job on the railroad.
And in your current position, which is of great interest to everyone.
Drastically different.
Yes.
But it's right next to it's as close as I could get to the railroad. After they tore the tracks out, there was a river next to the railroad.
Right.
So I figured out a way to get a job along the river.
Yes.
And in the river, and sometimes on the river.
Yes.
In
And that job is?
in a boat.
Yes.
That job is I'm executive director of the Lackawanna River Conservation Association.
Conservation side. Let's talk about the environment, right? All in our yeah. Anybody have any questions about the environment? I don't know. Like, let's all chime in here. We're all hanging out. You know.
How bad is the state of affairs in the Lackawanna region?
Yeah.
Well, we've got the river's recovering. We had 150 plus years of coal mining, and coal mining is pretty tough on rivers because you dig holes in the ground and then you dig tunnels underground, and some of the tunnels go under the river,
Right.
and then the roof of the tunnel will get a crack and it'll go up into the bed of the river, and then the river leaks into the tunnel.
Right.
So real early on, they noticed that they were mining coal, and yo, Bob, are your feet wet? And
Oh yeah.
yeah, my feet are wet. So well, let's get Charlie the mule and get it back there, Jack. Charlie the mule. Charlie the mule.
He gets it. Yeah. Yeah.
I get to go off on stuff like that now. Okay.
I don't know if I get it, but he'll tell us later.
It's an inside joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anyway, and we'll hook up.
I usually get inside jokes.
Yeah.
No, that was a joke. Yeah. Okay.
You got the one at the bar.
Oh yeah.
You're not a local.
We hooked the mule up to a windlass, and
Yes.
the windlass, the mule went around and it pumped the water out. And then there was more water, and the mule couldn't keep up with it, so we had to retire him, and we got ourselves a steam engine.
Right.
And it was working real good. And then a couple of guys, one guy's name was Edison, and this other guy's name was Westinghouse. They figured out how to make electric motors and electricity.
Right.
And they built these big motors, and somebody said, "Hey, them motors would be pretty good for running streetcars. Let's run some streetcars, and
We're getting to it. Yeah,
we'll be
yeah,
the
yeah.
first streetcar in the country, in the world, really, the whole world." Scranton had the first electric streetcar commuting suburb, Green Ridge, the area out there, and in the whole world. So, but they also said, hey, those motors will be pretty good to pump the water out of the mines.
Right.
So they started doing that. But then flash forward to 1957, and the cost of electricity exceeded the cost you could get per ton of coal. So once you had that economic intersection, the mafia got really interested in the whole situation and decided to come in and corrupt it all. And we've been corrupt ever since.
Oh. Happy to be here. So what's going on now with the river? Like, what
Well,
are-
the rivers
what
come
are
back.
problems?
Since we generally stop dumping stuff in the river, generally.
Yeah.
And underneath us is like the subways under Manhattan on steroids, about 1,200 feet deep and 75 miles long, and it's filled with water, which is really good. so it doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah, oh,
It
yeah,
won't
yeah.
catch on fire. Unlike Centralia, all that stuff under, you've heard of Centralia?
I've heard of it, yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
heard. Who hasn't heard of Centralia?
The town is on fire.
It's
Who
on
has
fire
heard of
'cause it's at the top of the mountain,
Yeah.
and the coal is up above where it's flooded, so it just keeps on burning and burning. But here it's all flooded.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, we'd be like Centralia, and we're not, so
Yes.
it's pretty cool.
Ah.
So, but that water, it's like about the size of one of the Finger Lakes in New York State, underneath
Yeah,
our
yeah.
valley here. So
Yeah.
it's maybe about a couple 100 billion gallons of water.
Ah.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
water.
Sounds like
And it flows out into the river down in Old Forge.
Yeah, that's not good. Good for them.
Yeah.
It's fine for us.
It's
Okay.
they use it to color the pizza, the sauce for the pizza,
Ah.
and
But another local inside.
yeah, it actually has 7,000 pounds of iron oxide in
Right.
the water, and it's dissolved molecularly. And when it comes into the river, it has a chemical interaction with the oxygen in the river water, and the iron and oxygen get together and they party. They flocculate.
We've done that. Yeah.
They flocculate out of solution,
Right.
and they float to the bottom of the river, and they cover the river with this orange slime.
Wow.
Iron oxide, basically rust. And we're trying to figure out how to fix that
Get
right
it
now.
out of there,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the rest of the river, some of the mine water comes in, it doesn't have all the iron, it has cold water. It chills the river out, and we have trout,
We've
as
chilled
long
out.
as you
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
So if you like trout fishing, this is the river for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah, what's up, Bernie? You must have some stories after. How long has it been? 30 odd years now? You've been working with the LRCA. So, ever been arrested doing it?
Oh yeah, this is. I think you have a good.
Oh, that was
story.
recent, yeah,
Yes.
actually several times,
Yes, remember
several
you
times.
and your,
I think these guys
much
got
younger
almost got it.
companion.
We
What's that
did,
story?
but we were actually, we were at work, and we were along one of the railroads that doesn't have any track on it anymore. These railroads, we found that they were really neat things because they ran along the river, and once they removed the track, they were putting junk cars and turning them into dumping grounds. But when we came along, we said, hey, maybe there could be something better we could do with them, so let's get the junk cars out of there. Let's where the tracks used to be, let's make a trail.
Yeah.
So we have all these really neat
This all sounds.
rails.
This all sounds legal
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's legal. It's legal.
Yeah.
Actually legal.
Right.
But you're not supposed to ride unauthorized motor vehicles on the trail. Now, we do have an authorized motor vehicle, which we weren't using that day. We were using my personal vehicle because it was it was a situation of
Got a better
it was an emergent situation of
Bernie, we were going to get pastries over at my mother's delicacies.
oh, was it? It was a bakery. It was a bakery run.
By the
And
way, we both spent about $14 each.
I knew we'd get there.
Stop.
All right.
but we also had to look for these trees that had fallen down on the trail and a couple other things, and do some reconnaissance for designing some work sessions for volunteers to come in and do some maintenance. So we decided to, after we got the pastries, we'd drive down the trail, take a pastry break,
Yeah.
and figure out what we're gonna do for the volunteer
All
projects
still,
next
all
week.
still legal.
But we were in our
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
apparently unauthorized looking
Yes.
vehicle.
Right.
Well, some of the trail users are very adamant about not having any unauthorized vehicles.
Oh, you
They called the comp
You were
center.
narked.
They
Yeah.
said
That's
there
happened
were
to us.
two very suspicious characters.
Ah.
You look suspicious.
Eating donuts. Yeah.
They only
That's what got the cops involved.
That's right,
Yeah, yeah,
yes, and two of the Scranton's finest came out, and they were very adroit, and one of them like came in back of us, and the other came in front of us and blocked us in, so we couldn't go any further, and they had their red lights on, which
Right.
made them an attractive nuisance. Fortunately, one of them was very serious about being a police officer.
Oh yeah.
And he knew us, and he knew that once we told him, oh, hey, yeah, Jim, we're here doing work. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. Well, next time you're down here, you got to call the comp center and tell them you're coming in in an unauthorized vehicle, so
Right.
when somebody calls, they'll know, oh, okay, well, so. But unfortunately, he was gonna save the taxpayers' money and get those 2 police officers from responding to something that they really didn't need to respond to. And they would have been back on the street ready to respond to a real emergency.
Right.
But his associate in the other vehicle was by the book,
Yes.
gotta see their licenses, gotta run them through the system, make sure there's no
Oh, yeah.
outstanding warrants, and
Fun.
no, there were no outstanding warrants. Fortunately, for the Patriot Act, there would have been one. I was in violation of several sections of the Patriot Act a few years ago. It took me 23 years to learn that I was in violation of the Patriot Act. But when I was informed,
Bummer.
I talked to the good people up
So
in.
hold on, wait a minute. So you guys weren't arrested?
No, we
Okay.
weren't. No,
Oh, okay.
we were. He did run everything,
Oh,
and
okay.
we got nice computerized reports. Right? They have them right in their police card. They print the stuff out for you, and we got a receipt.
Well, technology is interesting.
Yeah.
They did go old fashioned and called the office to vouch for us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
they did. Yeah, they
question
did.
up
Yeah. The more adroit police
Question
officers.
here in the front.
Oh yes.
Did the police have 8x10 glossy color photographs with pictures of circles and arrows?
No, they didn't go that far. Fortunately, and probably because they knew that the city is still in distressed economic status, and they didn't want to. Even the more serious officer who didn't have a sense of humor realized that. So, but had it been,
Well, you're here.
yeah, had it been another time, there would have been a notice that I was not allowed to operate a motor vehicle. Well, only in the state of Vermont.
Yeah.
And
That sounds like a 20-year-long story. that
It
we don't
was,
have time
yeah.
for.
Yeah,
We're-
but
get
I'm
that-
now able to drive a motor vehicle in the state
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Vermont, so, I'm the other Bernie
Now you're
from
updated, yeah.
Vermont.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
Guys,
yeah, thank
it's been a
you.
pleasure.
Yeah,
All right.
You might ask a question to somebody else pretty soon. Let's
Okay.
it's ticket time. Everybody, your ticket's out. Well, we're gonna draw the ticket and then find out. You know what I mean? It's for somebody's gonna win. Someone's gonna win. You want to do the honors?
No, they didn't get one coming in.
You know, guys, I was just looking here that there was a huge 20-inch hairball surgically removed from a young person in England. Of course, in England that's kind of a country. It wasn't
A
Florida.
20-foot-long what?
20-inch long
Log?
hairball.
Was it in a?
Hairball. Oh.
Yeah, apparently in
I had a cat that used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 foot turns to 20 inches.
Yeah.
That's why when
Well,
we
actually, no, 20 foot is possible because the human colon is about 36 feet, I believe.
Ah.
Yeah. If anybody
All right.
wants to check.
Let's do this. Now that we all have our tickets out, let's do this. Yeah.
I think I got the winning ticket.
No, you have to read it.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. You do have it, the winning ticket, yeah. But someone else.
the winning ticket
Yeah.
is 72 80 02.
002?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, give it up for our winner.
first
Yeah.
The news, the other boy put the pot in the incense burner.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, the two altar boys.
Oh, I don't. Well, but give it up for our winner, who's supposed to be coming. Yeah. Yeah.
That they won a valuable prize.
Mike, Jay,
This is Sean.
Okay.
you want a prize?
Excellent.
I think it's a eraser in the shape of a Rubik's cube.
Awesome.
I don't think you
You're
can
gonna
get
keep
one.
it.
That's pretty retro.
Yeah.
I think the 80s when the Rubik's Cube came out is about the last time somebody used an eraser.
Oh yeah, it could be. So we're at the Scranton Fringe Festival, and sometimes I stutter, and then people laugh. And anyway, do we have anybody who's also in a show?
I know.
Oh, yeah, right
The
here.
intro is awesome.
Oh yeah. Let's talk to the mechanical
Yeah?
dancer, right?
No,
Mechanical musician.
sort of.
Let's bring her out. Yeah. Let's find out.
What gave it away? I thought I was undercover.
I think we were alerted to your presence as well.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's your name?
Carmel,
Carmel. And what's the show?
the marvelous mechanical musical maiden.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been mechanical for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a condition that I've always lived with.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I am from all over, and I've been traveling a bit with the show. I've been overseas with it, all over the States, and that's cool. It's been beta tested, and now it's nice and settled.
Oh, yeah.
Has
anybody seen it or
no,
is it on
because
their...
I only had opening night,
Yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
no one came except for those two
But
people.
Oh yeah.
And we had to, unfortunately, they showed up after we had alerted the staff that we were canceling.
What about,
But you can come Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
And is it on anyone's radar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's on
really?
there.
Oh yeah. And,
He showed up. He showed up.
Yeah.
What about Madame Jenny? Is that like an excerpt or?
The show. So I did a cabaret show on Saturday, which was an opening ceremony kind of thing of like, let's have a party because the Scranton Fringe is happening.
Yeah.
So I hosted it and produced it, and we had some other people there, including Michael Burgos, who's right there, who has a show as well.
Oh yeah. Who might be a guest in a few minutes?
You never know.
Yeah.
And so that I sang a song while I played music from my own tits. Because I have a device that allows me to do that.
Ah.
And it's a proto version of the suit that I wear while I am the mechanical maiden that plays music. But I don't squeeze my own tits in the show.
Okay.
I strip out of the jacket, but I don't actually.
Oh wow. Where else? You said you've been traveling internationally. Where was your most exciting international show? What
Could you narrow down the usage of the word exciting?
like fun? Like
Fun, not terrifying?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of terrifying animals there.
They say that America has more terrifying animals than Australia.
Really?
Yeah, because we have bears
Oh,
and mountain
yeah.
lions.
Oh yeah.
And
They have scorpions.
alligators
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
crocodiles. Or we don't have crocodiles.
We do.
We have
Makes sense.
no, we do because they're in Louisiana, and alligators are the ones in Florida.
No,
Yeah.
crocodiles are in Florida, but alligators are everywhere.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Give it up for a nature expert.
Yeah. So we think that it's a terrifying place. It's really just that they have poisonous spiders. I think that that's actually what's the most terrifying thing about it. And racism. There's that. They're real.
They're bad at that
They're
too?
so bad at it.
Worse than us?
Well, they keep saying that they're really bad at it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I live in the South, so I'm kind of like, you guys are.
You guys are worse.
You have
Oh,
such
nice.
a cute notion of
Yeah.
what it sounds like a day of a bad day of racism is like. I'm like, wow, Hunter, Richmond, Virginia. I
yeah.
experienced that, but they take it seriously. The people who are activists, and, which is I think is great.
Yes.
So I was at Adelaide Fringe, which is the second largest fringe festival in the world. It's and yet so charming and homey, and it takes care of you.
Nice.
So yeah, I had a lot of fun there. It was
I've never been to Australia. No.
it's worth a trip. You should go. There's 1,600 productions that you could choose from.
Wow.
I know, right? There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Hey, let's have questions from.
What was the most terrifying?
The most terrifying?
Oh, yeah.
It's actually New Zealand.
Right across the.
Which I did right after Adelaide
Yeah.
because they have all of the mystery pollen that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. So I got off the plane and I immediately stopped being able to breathe. And I had to cancel my first show. Apparently it's a trend. For me. I had to cancel my first show. I was in bed for a week trying to get well enough to do the show, and I had to cancel it anyways. And it's still, and the next show, I even lost my voice, blew it out right in the middle of it, and I thought I was going to die. So, and it happened. I went to New Zealand earlier in my lifetime, and the same thing happened. So it was kind of like the island was like, you should come here because it's beautiful and hobbits and like you love all this shit. And I'm like, it's so like sexy and I want to go and it's so great. I've got a place to stay. It's gonna be. And then I got off the plane and it was like, we didn't manage to kill you last time you were here, but we're gonna try again. So that was exciting because I was like, this is the worst idea I've ever had.
Nowhere to go but up.
I
Yeah.
want to hear about your suit, the suit that you wear
Yeah.
that plays music.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
All right, so a bad bitch lady coder friend of mine and I developed it together. She's a cellist and collaborator of mine from way back, and she switched from being expanded from being a classically trained cellist to being a coder. And I was like, I really want this device to like play. Like, let's make it like a jukebox. And then I can hit different parts of it, and it'll play different parts of a song. And she's like, okay. I was like, and then I want to flip like a giant switch, like I'm like waking up Frankenstein. And she's like, yeah, we can totally do that. I was like, great. And then she like laser cut out a thing, and we're gonna do a thing. And then like within moments of us looking at it, I said, but what if it were on my boob? She went, yes, we can do that. Different buttons, and like brought out a different box of buttons, and I went upstairs and I grabbed an old bustier bra, and we just like were like, okay, this is how it's gonna work. And so she created this motherboard out of Adafruit motherboard and built some buttons into the underwire of a bra. And like it's 4 different pieces of one song. It's the As the World Falls Down by David Bowie, which is what you saw at the cabaret the other night. And so it has it's battery operated, and it has an auxiliary jack that goes into an amp or anything that plays music out of an auxiliary jack. And so I just can activate the different pieces of the song by squeezing. I'm pushing buttons. I'm not actually squeezing my breast. And so that was the proto version of it. And then I said, but I want to play a bunch of songs. How do we do that? She's like, okay. And so we built the same idea, same kind of pieces in Arduino and their coding language. And it was really big now, because so it's like it's still very small, but it's way bigger. And the buttons are actually conductive material, so it's something that you can sew. But if you touch it with your bare skin, it'll activate. It'll create a circuit. It'll flip switch essentially. Close the circuit, and so we loaded up the motherboard with music that she and I recorded and performed, and so some of them are loops and some of them are just the song played all the way through, and then so I can activate them on my clothing just with the touch of my hand. So, and I kind of strip out of the jacket that I'm wearing, so I look like a fever dream. There's this, and then there's like from the neck down, it's this like really intense, hyper-colored, Rococo Victorian fever dream situation. So I look like a porcelain doll.
How much does that weigh?
Almost nothing.
Really?
Yeah. So, and the cool
It's
thing is
all
that
Arduinos these days.
yeah, but the cool thing is that I actually have all the speakers and shit in my panniers and my underwear. So they're not in my underwear. It's panniers or a sort of underwear. So I walk around with these big hips like a hoop skirt, and there's speakers inside, so I can activate it and it plays music from my person. So I can. It's really cool because there's like a subtle change that happens when you're watching something and you think you know where the sound is coming from, and then it passes you, but you can still hear it, but your experience of the sound has changed. So I get really close to people. I come off the stage. I do most of the work actually in the audience. So it's really cool, and it totally broke a couple of times while I was overseas. That was exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And I was holding it together with
Same
clear nail
theory.
polish
Yeah.
and bobby pins and prayer, just like hoping. One day it was so hot in Adelaide that my skin was radiating so much heat that it was actually like ghosting and activating all of the conductive material. So now it's working. It's really secure and solid.
In what venue?
I'm at Madame Jenny's, which is a really cool. It's a really cool speakeasy space. It's a little bougie feeling when you walk in. You're like, am I allowed to be here? So like, and they've got really great food and great drinks, and they're very welcoming. So I highly recommend it. And it's you have to go through the gauntlet of a super broy bar. So have faith.
Yeah.
Go towards the red light. And there's another show there called Temptress, and she's not here, but so there's a couple of shows. But yeah, it's gonna be a good season.
Nice.
I'm at Charm City Fringe after this, down in Baltimore.
Alright.
So tell your people.
You're gonna be there.
Give it. Oh yeah, we'll be in there next Friday. Yeah.
Oh, for Fringe?
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Baltimore.
and Michael as well.
Yeah.
We're on tour together.
Yeah. Just give it for Kyle and everybody. All right. Let's who's got tickets?
Do you want to ask me a question right now? While we pull
10.
the ticket?
Michael? Give it up for Michael, our next guest. Give it up for our next guest, Michael Burgos. Right, Burgos? Yeah. Burgos.
Es un nombre de España.
We just saw your show tonight, Tiramisu.
Yeah, Paolo was there. I was there. You were at the opening. Oh, Missy was there too.
Oh, yeah.
I was just, you always have such lovely head adornments, so I was wondering approximately how many heads
I don't actually know.
Yeah.
how many
I have
hats
no
I
questions.
own, but I
There's so
wrote a
many.
song about my love of hats.
Yeah.
Yes, I wrote a waltz about it. I would say more than 25 and less than 100 is how many hats I own.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a pretty. Yeah.
I like photo camera.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And we saw your show.
Yeah.
It was right here.
Very funny.
Yeah.
We were sitting
We were there. Yeah.
I usually remember where everyone was sitting. Missy was over there. Paolo was over there.
Yeah.
He was about the same place.
It was, yeah. This isn't what the show is, by the way.
No.
No.
I do feel like
That's just above and beyond.
I do have something of a photographic memory, only when it comes to like the audience.
Yeah.
Do you play your boobs in the show? No.
No.
Okay.
What about? No.
What is
Alright,
No,
so you don't
no,
play any,
yeah.
what do you do in your show?
Yeah.
Because I did not have the privilege.
That's right. Let's talk about it. Tiramisu.
Do elaborate.
Some Italian
It's like 20 something short
vignettes.
vignettes inspired by Italy. It's very
Comedy clown.
clown-esque,
Yeah.
very stupid, very
Yeah.
silly.
Stupid in
Very
like
fun.
competition.
I
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love like really, really dumb stuff. But it's quite. Thank you, Paolo.
Yeah.
It's quite physical. Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
breath said a lot.
Oh yeah.
My favorite was the squirting in the face.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoiler.
Don't ruin the show for me, yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Well, I mean, we just heard somebody else talk about how she built her musical outfit, and that's like
Now I want to see
ruined
that
a
one.
little. Yeah. No. Yeah. There's no
I think
ruining.
you're biased.
It's not ruining if you go and then you have fun. Like yeah. It's
Alright,
I mean,
so
I-
tell us,
I like the one.
There's a lot of shit.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Surprises. A lot of surprises.
Yeah.
does he die in the end?
I die, but not at the end.
No, yeah.
No.
He dies at the
Halfway through the movie.
beginning. Yeah.
And then it goes back to the beginning.
That's right. Very complicated.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Is Darth Vader involved?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
I'm gonna have to see it.
Let's open up questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Over here.
Did you create that one song in there?
Yeah, I did write the
That
two
you were
songs.
catwalking on?
Gondola of
That
Love.
was awesome. That song
and
is so
Tiramisu.
cool.
They were both
I was
beautiful.
dying.
Yeah.
I thought they were legitimate songs.
They are.
I mean, I thought they were like old traditional.
Oh no, I wrote them.
No, yeah, they fit.
I wrote both. If you check the program, the festival program, originally I was going to do a musical, but I tested it out a few weeks ago before I went on tour, and it was really like the songs were fine, but the text, like the text between
Yeah.
the songs was awful.
They loved the songs, but nothing in between them.
And I was like, I can't do this show. Like,
Right.
it's a bad show. And I had to be honest with myself, and then I threw away pretty much everything except those 2 songs in this show. Yeah.
So it
So
worked.
my program description does not apply.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
Were you expecting a musical?
Yes.
Were you disappointed?
And were you happy?
No.
Okay.
Wait. Were you happy or were you disappointed?
No,
She
I
could
was
have
happy.
You
I
were
was
okay,
happy.
because that's what I asked.
Yeah, you seem like you're having. I love your hat, by the way. Still, yeah. She has a great hat.
But I do have a question.
Yes, question.
Why Italy? Why?
Because
why Italy?
so my original show, it was going to be like a musical to this like fictitious, like an Italian pastry chef. It was like a love musical to like this guy had some Italian pastry chefs and lost love. So it's very Italian themed. And when I realized the show was bad, I was like, oh crap, I still have applied to all these festivals with this premise of like an Italian thing.
Yeah.
And the photo is my head in front of an Italian flag. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna like make something
You rolled
around Italy.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of
And it was.
things just around Italy.
Yeah.
It was like if people have bought a ticket expecting something. I tried to make it as close as possible while still doing a totally new show.
I'll be honest, never in watching it did I think that I was supposed to be seeing another show.
Cool. Thank you for that question.
I thought it was just dancing.
Yeah.
There was one woman in Rochester who was just like, who talked to me after the show, and she's like, I thought it was supposed to be a musical. And I felt awful, but
did you have fun?
I think she was confused. That's
Okay.
why. I mean, fair enough. She bought a ticket expecting that.
Sure.
And now going forward in all my future festivals, I have an accurate show description now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less music than you're expecting.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What constitutes a musical?
Yeah.
3+ songs? I mean, technically, you got 2 songs in there.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I'd say like half. I think with musicals, like you expect about half of the show.
It's music-ish.
Just put quarter musical. Just put like
Yeah. What?
fourth a musical.
Yeah.
I think anytime you're breaking into song, it's a musical.
It's a musical.
Yeah, breaking into song.
Breaking into song. Because you don't do that in real life.
You know?
No, you're right.
You don't just like, you're at the Giant and you're like, can I get a grape up over there?
But if you in real life break into song, then are you living a musical life? Because it happens
High School
just
Musical.
once.
High School Musical. Zac Efron.
Sure.
Yeah, Giants.
Yeah. All right.
Quarter-
I feel like now we're understanding what the show is. I think I'm chilling and hanging out. Oh well, when next can we see Tiramisu?
Saturday. I don't remember your name, but they'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah, we're going
Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday.
So Saturday and Sunday. If you like to come on Sunday, you will see these lovely people.
Fellow.
Or you want?
No, we're not so lovely.
Oh, they're not. You will see these unlovely people there on Sunday.
Ah, okay. All right. Give it up for.
Thank
I'm going to try something that we've never done before.
Okay.
Who would like to be a guest?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Give it up. Yeah. The guy who yeah. The one person who responded. Yeah. All right. John. Sean. Jason. Yeah. What's going on in your world? What's your headlines?
My headlines. Ooh, quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I have a question for the guest here.
Oh, question right off the bat. Yeah.
So in the news this week, a solid gold toilet worth $1.25 million was stolen this week. From where was it stolen? And I give you 3 choices: Florida, New Jersey, or England.
Sounds like this guy already knows.
You know, I
Yeah,
want to
this is
say
the question
England.
again.
I want
A
to say
solid
England.
gold toilet.
But I'm thinking Miami, like Florida, like some like rich kingpin. So I'm gonna go Florida.
All right, now,
I would
granted,
say Trump.
unfortunately, England trumps Florida. Yeah, if it were just
Don't
American,
say Trump.
Florida
Yeah.
trumps Jersey. Yes, thank you for the Jersey.
Yeah,
Florida. But it was in fact in England. And
I wanted Florida. I honestly wanted
it
Florida.
was part of an art installation and entitled America.
You get a prize just for playing.
Sweet.
It's a, the show's almost over.
No.
Yeah, you get a birthday stamp.
It's my birthday year.
Yeah.
How perfect is that?
Oh,
I'm celebrating
nice.
my birthday year.
This year?
Yeah, 25.
Again?
Well, I'm thinking every single day.
Yeah.
Because me and my friends all have the same birthday.
Oh, uh-huh.
And we're like, let's do a birthday weekend. But my one friend couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So
Are these friends you're talking about twins?
No. One's
Oh, okay.
35 and
Oh,
one's
yeah,
20.
yeah.
He looks younger than me.
Right.
And then the other guy sells kimchi. Not too sure his age.
Oh,
I think
that's Randy.
Could be
Randy will be
28,
our
could be
guest tomorrow
38.
night.
Yeah. Our Randy is our guest tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Me and him.
Thanks for
and-
plugging the show.
Perfect plug.
Yeah, yeah.
Me, him, and our friend Matt Gentile are doing a birthday year. We were gonna do a birthday month, but we had some conflicts, so we're like, let's just do a birthday year.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow.
Fit it in. So technically, it's
Who
my birthday, so
who had the brainstorm for the birthday? Who's the first person to say it? 'Cause that's really the hero.
I went birthday year because
You
they
did?
went
Oh, yeah,
birthday
yeah.
month, and then I was like, let's just go full month. Let's go. Fuck
Birthday
it.
year, man. I've never thought about doing a birthday year.
Do it.
It's great.
25 is perfect, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's expensive, yeah. Birthday shots, but it's also not expensive because people are buying new shots.
Right.
True. Every night you go to Johnny Rockets, you get a free
This is revolutionary.
milkshake.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
you
need to
ask
write a
for
book. You need to write a book
more.
about
The
this.
birthday year.
Yeah.
Genius.
It's got a title.
The birthday
Yeah,
year.
right. Yeah.
Perfect.
You don't even-
25 chapters.
You're
Chapters,
man.
or 12.
Yeah.
You know, can't go wrong.
Sure.
This is perfect too. This will be the title. This will be like the.
That's yours. Yeah.
I'll have it like this or
Perfect stamp.
Yeah, yeah.
something. You know.
Any other questions? Wow, we got
We already-
great. Any other questions or thoughts? Who's seeing any other shows? Does anyone want to plug any other shows? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few great shows coming up this weekend.
Yes.
There's Quark and
Quark?
The Singularity. They're
Oh,
both
yeah.
up at the Junior Ballroom at the Cultural Center. Have you guys been there yet?
No.
Great architecture. We could spend the rest of the night with Bernie telling us about the building.
Raymond Hood.
Yes.
Right.
So Raymond Hood, and what is he noted also for?
Radio City.
Oh, an architect. Oh,
Yeah, it's quite a building, so if nothing else, just come out and see the building, if not the show.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
see the show, those are two great shows, and of course, we'll be here the next 2 nights.
Yeah, Stone Morning Show next
John
2
will
nights.
be joining us.
I can't, but my buddy Randall Crandall will be here. He lives in my sister's playhouse.
Oh, all right.
He's from the river. He actually is from the river.
He's from the river.
He
Oh.
came down from Canada.
How many of you people have ever been a river person?
He's a river guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a river guy for
A
sure.
river person.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to get beer from him, you know, back in the day.
Wow, what a life.
And now he's living in my sister's playhouse.
Yeah, yeah,
You really can't ask for more from him. He does my chores. It's a great situation.
I want to see your show. Yeah.
I'm going to be in the Singularity
No,
as a
I
roadie.
mean, yeah.
As a roadie.
I mean, this should be a show.
Randall Crandall?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on its way.
Yeah,
I'll show you
yeah,
some
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we guys can do like a Randall Crandall pod show, as he calls it.
Yeah, yeah,
In the
yeah.
Playhouse. He does a pod show.
Well, we've learned so much. Well, haven't we? Like, yeah, this is what it's about. Yeah. All right. Are we done? I don't know. Yeah. I think we're done. All right. Yeah, we did another show. Thank you for coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our hosts, Sean and Jason. Come on, guys.
Handshake, all right.
Let's get that nice grip. Johnny, give me a little. Give me a finger. Middle finger. Do like something cool. What'd you think of the show?
Can I give my first show speech?
Yeah, John, can I get an interview?
Who are the people who are
Oh, my brother and his wife.
What do you need? Oh, my bad.
I'm